Hi guys, Dr. Orlando here with a video on the inheritance pattern known as codominance. And in codominance, you can have multiple phenotypes being expressed in one individual. It's like you've got two dominants or more than one dominant. And the example that we're going to use is pretty straightforward, and it's human blood types. Now, human blood types are based on, and we're just talking about the A, B's, and O's, not the RH factors. It's based on the surface proteins on the red blood cell. And on these red blood cells, these surface proteins are like ID tags, and the body knows what those ID tags should look like. And therefore, that is your blood type. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and draw out my blood cells, and it'll just take me a second. All right, so I drew my red blood cells here, and the little black sticks with the letters sticking off of them or not are my surface proteins. These are glycoproteins, so it's a sugar and a protein combination, and what varies on these is the sugars that are attached. So if you are a type A, or this is a type A blood, it means that your blood has type A glycoproteins on it. Okay. If a person is type B, it means they have type B surface proteins. If a person is type AB, it means they have both on their red blood cells. So this is where we see, this is the codominance. Both A's and B's are being expressed on this red blood cell. Then we've got this one, type O. And in type O, notice I drew the little sticks, okay, because everybody's got the little sticks, right? So you have that, but it doesn't have any letters. So you can think of this one as being clean. Okay, it doesn't have A or B glycoproteins at all on it. Okay. All right, so how does inheritance work with this? Let's take a look at some possible Punnett squares for blood typing. So with this inheritance pattern, with blood typing, A and B are dominant to O. So the only way somebody is going to be a type O is if they don't have an A or B. Okay, so let's look at that. And there are different ways to show this in a Punnett square, and in your textbook does use the capital I and then superscripts A, B, and little I. I'm just going to do the A's, B's, and O's because I think it's a little easier for students to understand. But if you need help figuring out the textbook coding versus what I'm doing, just let me know. Okay, so let's take, for example, a person who is type A. Okay, so if a person is type A, that's their phenotype. Let's mark this as phenotype. Okay. What is their genotype? Well, there are two alleles that have a say in this type, right? They got them from their mom and dad. So they can either be homozygous for A, or they can be AO. Remember, the O is recessive. Okay, so the A will show. If a person is type B, what is their possible genotype? Homozygous for B or BO. If a person is type AB, you only get two alleles, so it tells you what they are. Their genotype is AB. Okay. And then the final one, type O, this is recessive. This is recessive. So we could maybe to help remember that this is recessive, we're going to make him a little o. Okay. To be type O, we're going to do little o, little o. Okay. That's the only way it's going to show up. So let's look at some. Now let's go on to the Punnett squares. Now that we know the genotypes, let's cross a type A with a type AB. Okay, so let's move this up. And we've got mom she's type A, and Dad is type AB. Okay, question. Can the baby be type O? Is that possible? Let's take a look. If Mom is type A, that means her genotype is either homozygous A or heterozygous carrying an O, right? Dad's type AB, so times AB. Okay. So we have to make 2 Punnett squares for this, right? 2 Punnett squares are necessary. Okay. Put that down there. So we'll do this cross first. So type A times AB. The results are type A, type A, type AB, type AB. Okay, so no typo there. Not going to happen. How about here? Well, now we've got Mom is AO. And Dad is AB. Is it possible to get a baby that's type O here? Let's see, there's type A, type AO, type AB, type BO. So nope, not possible to get a type O out of a parent combination that is type A and type AB. All right, let's move on to another question. Let's say that Mom is type B and Dad is type A. Can their baby be type O? Is that possible? Well, let's see. If Mom's type B, then she's either big B or big B little o. Dad would be big A, little o. Either one. That's a possibility. Well, what combination? We could look at it without doing all the Punnett squares. We can just use some logic looking at it. If these two went together, could we have a type O baby? No. There's no O's in there at all. There's no way we could have a type O baby. So we don't need to make a Punnett square for this. Okay. And then if we did this combination or this combination, could those make a type O baby? Well, no, that's just what we did. We took the homozygous, right, over here. Nope. Where are we at? Nope, we didn't do that. Well, let's think. Could we do that? Could we do that? Okay, so if you look at it, you think to get a type O baby, we'd have to have 2 recessive alleles, one from Mom and one from Dad. And in this case, there would be no recessive allele from Dad. And in this case, no recessive allele from Mom. So those 2 possible combinations aren't going to produce a baby who's type O. So let's look at this. What if we had this? What if the parents happened to be that genotype? If Mom was big B, little o, so she's a type B, but she's a carrier for O. Okay. And Dad is a type A, but he's carrier for O. Let's look at the possible offsprings here. Whoop. So we could have a baby that's AB. We could have a baby that's AO. We could have a baby that's BO. And we could have a baby that's OO. Okay, so what does that tell us? Well, that means 1/4 of the babies, 1/4 chance. There's 25% chance that the baby would be AB. There's a 25% chance that the baby would be type A. 25% chance that the baby would be type B. and 25% chance that the baby would be type O. So it is possible to have parents that are type A and type B and end up with a baby that's type O. It is possible, as long as both parents are carriers of the recessive O. Okay. Now in this case scenario, of course, we're talking about codominance. So in this picture here, you can ask yourself, which of those offspring would be exhibiting the codominance pattern? And if you said this one, you'd be right, because that one would be showing both phenotypes, both A and B. All right, if you have any questions, let me know.